What is going on, guys? Tiger here with Tiger Uppercut Media, back again with another Dokkan battle video. So today we're going to be talking about a very basic yet very important topic in the game of Dokkan battle, and that is battle rotations. So this is meant for very new players to the game who haven't really gotten a lot of experience and don't really know how rotations work yet. If you are a long-term player, then you can definitely feel safe to skip this video, because I'm guessing you already know everything I'm going to be talking about in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So we're in boss rush at the moment, and when you start a stage, your units are actually going to be in a randomized order, and you have no control over that. What you can control is what your rotations look like after you start a battle. So here is my first random rotation. As you can see here, we got the SSJ3 Gotenks in the first slot, the Pandel in the second slot, and the Int Super Gogeta in the third slot. So what I'm going to want to do is actually link up the Int Gogeta and the SSJ3 Gotenks together, because they give each other a lot of boosts, a lot of ki. And I also want to keep them in the first two slots, because these first two slots are actually considered the main rotation slots, while Pandel is in the third slot, and the third slot is a floater slot. And Pandel is a support unit, so I don't really need her to be doing too much. She doesn't really do a lot of damage either. So the reason that the first two slots are called main rotation slots is because the units in those two slots actually come back every other turn, while the unit in the third slot, or the floater slot, is going to be coming back every 3 turns. So usually you're going to be wanting to put, you're going to want to put your support units or your less strong units in that slot, because you don't need them to come back as often, while your harder hitters like my Int Gogeta here and my SSJ3 Gotenks are going to be in the main rotation, because we want them to be here as often as possible so they can do as much damage as possible. So without further ado, let's give these guys some ki and let them get off their super attacks and move on to the next rotation. If this is all really confusing to you guys, that's totally okay. We're going to be playing through more of this battle, and you will see very soon what exactly I'm talking about. So Gogeta is going to probably finish off this stage here. Oh no, he didn't. Okay, so Gotenks is definitely going to be finishing off the stage here. Another thing to note before we move on to the next rotation is that the two units in the first two slots that are linked together will stay together until you choose to break them up at some point in the future. And the reason for that is just that, just to keep things simple really for you, especially if the two units you chose are really good linking partners, you obviously want them to stay linked together as long as possible. So that's why things work out like that. So this is our next rotation. We got Tech Vegito, who is a support unit. We have Super Saiyan Gotenks, and we have the SSJ4 Gogeta of my friend that I'm using. So I'm guessing you guys already know what I'm going to be doing here, but you want to be putting the SSJ4 Gogeta and the Super Gotenks in the first two slots, because they are really powerful, really hard-hitting units. And the Tech Vegito, who is a support unit, will go in the third slot so that he doesn't take up the slot of a hard hitter in the main rotation. So here we go. Let's give Gogeta these orbs, and then he doesn't really matter because he already has full ki, but we'll just give him one orb there, and then Tech Vegito can get one of these orbs. And like I said, the SSJ4 Gogeta and the Super Saiyan Gotenks will now stay linked together until I decide to break them up. This Gogeta is so good, guys. If you haven't had a chance to play with him or haven't pulled him yet, when he comes back around in the game, definitely go for him, because he is amazing. As you can see there, he didn't even do a super attack. His counter alone was a critical that did over 1 million damage. Insane. Alright, so moving on to the next stage of the battle now, and it's the final stage actually, where Super Saiyan 4 Goku is around. So as you can see now, in my first ever rotation in this battle, I had put Super Gogeta and over here, Super Gogeta and SSJ3 Gotenks together, and now they've come back but they actually come back in the second two or the last two slots of the rotation. So if you want to keep them linked together, you're just going to have to move the first unit to the very back in the floater slot, and then you can keep them linked together and keep them in the main rotation. But in this case, actually, I'm going to put SSJ4 Gogeta in the first slot because I want to link him up with my Super Gogeta because they're actually better linking partners, or at least equal linking partners. But the main reason I'm doing this is because the SSJ4 Gogeta actually is a much harder hitter than the SSJ3 Gotenks. It's just that at the time when the first rotation came around, I didn't have the option to put this Gogeta in the main rotation. So now that he's come around, I'm gonna be putting him in the main rotation, and then my SSJ3 Gotenks will actually act as a floater. So yeah, you know, when you start out a round, you don't always have the option to get your best rotations in place. So sometimes it'll take a few turns before you can actually have all your rotations set properly and your floaters in their proper spots as well. I really hope all of this stuff I'm talking about is making sense to you guys. Sometimes when I'm on the spot talking about something, my words can get a little bit jumbled up, or you know, everything that's up in here doesn't really translate well to the words that are coming out of my mouth. So if you guys are still confused after you watch this video, don't worry. I'm always happy to help my viewers. So if you have any more questions or you want me to clarify something, definitely leave a comment down below and I will 100%, I promise, I will reply to you and we can figure this out together. So this is probably the final turn, and as you can see here, the SSJ4 Gogeta and the Super Saiyan Gotenks are back now from 2 rotations ago, and we're going to be moving the Pandel to the very back because she is a support unit and we don't want her in the main rotation. And then we just give SSJ4 Gogeta his orbs, we give the Gotenks his orb, and we give Pandel some orbs as well. Doesn't really matter because she's only going to be doing like, I don't know, 50 to 100k damage. Her main role is to give the other 2 units a huge boost to attack so they can deal a lot more damage. And this might just do it. There you go. So that's that. I'm not going to be doing any more of this boss rush stage because I feel like I already explained enough of how everything works, and you guys should have a pretty clear idea. If you guys didn't know about rotations before, you should have a pretty clear idea of how they work now. Definitely go into your own game, you know, jump into a stage and experiment and see how things work for yourself. I mean, nothing beats experience. You know, you could watch me talk about this stuff and play the game all day, but the best way to learn about all this stuff is to go into your own game and try it out for yourself. So I hope you guys found this very, very useful. Like I said, if you have any more questions, leave a comment down below and I will respond to you. But otherwise, I hope you guys have an awesome day. This was Tiger with Tiger Uppercut Media, signing out.